Hey everybody, I'm back, and to celebrate the fact that I actually have time to do some commentary after a month of being really busy with stuff, I picked a fantastic, excellent game to be playing for you guys. It's going to be Bubsy no Daiboken, which is Japanese for Bubsy's Great Adventure. I know what you're thinking, right? You're like, Estelle, why the hell are you Let's Playing this? You know, you haven't made a Let's Play in like a month, and then you pick Bubsy out of all games. Okay, listen. I know where you're coming from, but there's a method to my madness, okay? I wanted to put a Bubsy Let's Play up on this channel because this Halloween, it's going to be really terrifying because Bubsy is going to have a new game coming out. So that's going to be the scariest thing about this year's Halloween, is that a Bubsy game is freaking coming out. And yes, I pre-ordered it. I'm going to be getting the perfect edition, and hilariously, when I went to GameStop, the dude running the place was in shock. He actually said, "Oh my stars, someone actually pre-ordered Bubsy. I have lived to see the day that someone has actually..." I'm like, I know I'm laughing, but I'm serious. The GameStop employee actually, he said that. He was surprised. And I know, it's like, why would anyone want to pre-order it? I wouldn't say that I'm a fan of the Bubsy franchise, but I don't think the first game is that bad. I don't think it's as bad as people like to say it is or pretend it is. I think the series as a whole has just, had such a decline in quality to the train wreck called Bubsy 3D that the first one really gets crapped on. And the fact of the matter is, maybe it's just a lot of people on the internet, they're younger people and they didn't actually live when the game was out, because I'm gonna give you a friendly reminder that this game actually got pretty solid reviews back in the day. It does do some things nice, and it did do some things that were impressive for its time. For example, this game has really good animation. One smart thing the developers did is, because you die in one hit, they thought, hey, let's make it a little funny and have death animations. There's so many ways that Bubsy can die. That's probably, that is a good thing. You can have fun killing Bubsy and laughing at him falling down hills or turning into liquid and stuff like that. So, it has impressive animation, and, I think the graphics are good. And also, it had a lot of voice samples. Now, obviously, voice clarity is a lot better in the Super Nintendo version, but still, it wasn't something that was terribly common for its time. And, they did put some effort into this game. If you looked at the manual, the instruction manual, it had a completely colored booklet. And that's something that, at least for the, North American Sega Genesis games, you usually don't get a colored manual. In Japan, Mega Drive games usually have a colored manual, but the American manuals were always a really cheap black and white, but in the Bubsy game, you would get a comic that was full color, and the rest of the manual was full color too. And it came with trading cards and a postcard, and they even tried to launch a cartoon, which was god-awful, by the way. If you want to watch it, it's on YouTube. I don't recommend it. I mean, unless you want to torture yourself. It is bad. That's why it went nowhere. But the point of the matter is, they did try, but at the same time, this game kind of has an identity crisis. It doesn't know if it wants to be a fast Sonic the Hedgehog game or like a Mario game. And I think the biggest flaw that this game has really is the fact that you are dead in one hit. The game kind of makes you think you're supposed to go fast, but you go fast, you're gonna die. You just can't react. They don't have the ring system. They have these yarn balls. They don't do anything. Well, actually, shockingly, I found out that if you collect, it's either like 300 or 500. It's one of those numbers. 300 or 500 yarn balls, you'll get an extra life. Great. Who's gonna do that? What would have been smarter is if you would collect maybe 50 or 75 yarn balls, you would get an extra hit point. I think that would help the game a lot better. And by the way, I got a power up, and yeah, I almost totally screwed myself here, but this power up, you're black for a while, and the Sega Genesis version, Bubsy flickers, but in Super Nintendo, you're entirely black. You do have power ups like that. that can help you out a little, but ultimately they're so few and far in between. You know, it really would have helped if they had hit points in this game. And I understand that, you know, game developers were afraid that people go to Blockbuster and beat the game in a rental, but come on. As a game developer, you need to have a good balance between difficulty and then making sure that your game is fun to play, you know? When I was a kid and I started this game, I saw lives, 9 lives. I'm like, 9 lives, cats have 9 lives. And I thought, well, this game might be too easy. I proceed to die, like, a screen in, because you die in one hit. I mean, that would have helped. But, you know, like, this game has some neat levels. The level I'm playing right now, this carnival level, I legitimately like this level a lot. In fact, this is one of my favorite levels in all of 16-bit, and I'm just demonstrating that the ice cream cone can't kill you. It's like one of the few things in the game that actually will not kill you if you touch it, but I think this, the carnival level, okay. I'm gonna go right into a problem. Did you see right there, this game, and it seems more so in the Super Nintendo version, has some really, like, jacked up hitbox problems and hit detection. Sometimes you just get hit and it's like, what? You know, it's just not right, and there's a few circumstances that I'm gonna cut and show you guys later on, that I jumped on an enemy and I literally fell through and died. What the hell? What am I supposed to do if I can't even jump on an enemy? But anyways, I like this level a lot, and I like the background with the stars, and it's colorful, and, you know, like, this game did good in that department, I think. And I like the next level, the train level, but the problem is the next world, when you're in the desert and, you know, the train level, that's when the game starts to be a little, you know, less fun. And then when you hit the, the wilderness level, that's when you hit Bubsy 2 status. Meaning, the level design is just a complete cluster, excuse my language, it's a clusterfuck, okay? It's like a kid got Mario Maker with Bubsy and just slapped down random set pieces and enemies all over the place, no rhyme or reason. You're just going through the level, it all looks the same. And you have to take blind jumps, and there's enemies everywhere, and it's not fun. It is not fun at all. And that's Bubsy 2's problem. It looks like a 2-year-old screwed around with some, like, game making program. And it's bad game design, and it's not fun. And then Bubsy 3D, I can't even defend that game. What is there to say? I only got that game because it was bundled with a game that I actually wanted, Gex. And when I was a kid, I played Bubsy 3D. I beat the first level, and I was like, nope, no, I'm good. I put that game away, I never touched it again, seriously, I never touched it again, or meaning I never played it. I'm going back, I'm gonna play Spyro the Dragon, because I like Spyro. Spyro the Dragon was a good platformer. Back in the day, this game got decent reviews. I mean, it obviously didn't do better than Sonic or Mario, or even pose a threat to them. But it was decent enough to warrant a sequel, and it sold okay, and it reviewed okay. This game was almost good, and that's a crying shame. That's a problem with this game, is that it could have been better, and it's like the second one that kind of worked on the problem. You know, they gave Bubsy hit points, but, like, just the decline in quality, like, the level design, the animation, the colors, the graphics, everything just seemed worse. And even as a kid, I was like, this game feels like it was rushed. And then it was just a nosedive for Bubsy. Probably thinking, well, why did you pre-order the Bubsy game? And, you know, why are you still playing Bubsy? I kind of felt obligated to. There's a story behind this, okay? So when I started dating my boyfriend, he had an Atari Jaguar and he had a Super Nintendo. And those are systems that I didn't have growing up. I mean, I played a lot of Super Nintendo at my friend's house, but he had that. And then I'm like, you know what? I could play that really obscure Atari Jaguar game with Bubsy. And I looked on the internet, it was cheap. So then I just thought it would be hilarious if I went ahead and I just bought all the Bubsy games that existed. Yes, I even got the obscure Windows 95 disk. I don't know. I don't even know if it works or not. Like, who the hell runs Windows 95 anymore? I don't know if it works, but yeah, I have it. And I just thought it'd be funny. And I got the Game Boy Color game, and oh my god. Or maybe it's just Game Boy. I don't know, but that game is Bubsy 2, Game Boy. It has the worst soundtrack ever. It's so bad. But anyways, yeah. So it was a joke. I bought every single Bubsy game. Yes, I even got the, here's the Japanese version, and then I got Bubsy 1 and 2 on the Super Nintendo as well. So it's just a joke. I found out that Bubsy's coming out with another game. I'm like, damn it, now I'm gonna have to buy that too. So that was my logic. But you know what, maybe it'll be good. I like platformers, okay? I like this game up till about the 4th world, and then it just goes to hell for a while. It really does. I'm hoping that'll be a good game. My reaction to hearing Bubsy got a new game, I thought, you know what? This character got a new game before Ristar got a new game, before Streets of Rage got a new game, before like any really nice underappreciated IP from the 90s. And it's like, why? Thanks, internet! You have made Bubsy being bad such a meme that you brought him back. But anyways, I like this part of the level. I think this is cute. They have a maze. And again, like I said, they did a good job with at least some of the levels, how they did the carnival. I think it's nice. And the Woolies, they have nice animation. The game's not too terrible just yet. I mean, we'll get there, but yeah. Oh, and while I'm at it, an interesting thing about the Japanese version is Bubsy is a Yamaneko in the Japanese version, which means he is a mountain cat. And that's a little bit different than a bobcat. I don't know, I think that's funny that they changed it. And I also think it's funny that he actually has, Japanese voice, and they actually put a little bit of effort into changing him and not just the text. I think that's interesting. Oh my gosh, I got eggs or rice or I don't know. I think they're supposed to be eggs, but the sprite looks like almost a giant oversized Tic Tac. I don't know what the hell the Woolies throwing at him. But so interesting inconsistency about Bubsy. If you actually bother to read the comic, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, you're gonna notice that Bubsy looks like he's winking at you. He's actually not. His eye was damaged by the Woolies, so he's supposed to like always have one screwed up eye from when the Woolies like kicked him and he fell into the ground from the spaceship in the comic. But when you see Bubsy moving left and right, you're gonna notice that his eyes are wide open and they're like perfectly fine, and that's the inconsistency. See how he's looking at me right now and his eyes screwed up? Like, it's supposed to always be screwed up, but he apparently, I guess the people who wrote the story didn't I guess pass that down to the people who did the sprites. And this color, the orange or yellowish color room that I just went into, and this right here, the color's a little bit different. The Sega Genesis version is actually more dull. Like, it doesn't look as nice. But yeah, like, the Super Nintendo version, it seems more polished to me. It has less graphical glitches and audio glitches, and man, that's annoying. The bosses, ironically, aren't the hard part in Bubsy. Usually the hardest part is getting to them, and I mean, yeah, you die in one hit, but the bosses, they go down pretty fast if you do it correctly. I think I do it this time. I hope so. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Okay, good. That would have been terrible if I died twice on that boss. It's not that hard. So, the points in this game don't do anything. A lot of times they give you an extra man or something, but no, this game doesn't do anything. So I think it's highly redundant that they even bother to have so much emphasis on scoring when you beat a level. Anyways, the music is a little bit different in composition for the Super Nintendo to the Sega Genesis version on this level, and I always thought this was a neat looking level. I thought it was neat, and they have some cool set pieces. I also like the giraffe. We'll see him later on. But here's the problem. At this point, this is when the game starts to slowly get kind of, you know, bad. There's the giraffe I was talking about. The problem with this level is that it's too long. For whatever reason, it has like all these like subsections. So every time you go on the train, then you have to go into the desert. And it's too long. Like, it is way too long, and then it starts to get the Bubsy 2 syndrome. Meaning, it just feels like it's repeating itself, and you're just in the same area, and everything looks the same. You know, it's just not fun anymore. It lacks cohesion. I like what they were trying to, like, I guess, get at. It was too long. It was way too long. I think if they cut down the into the desert parts, it'd be a lot more fair. And another issue that is going to be becoming a lot more apparent is the game will start throwing blind jumps at you, meaning you can't really tell, even if you use the camera, where you can go, and you're forced to take a blind jump, and a lot of times, the first couple times, you're gonna land either in a pit, you're gonna land on a spike, or you're just gonna land on something that's gonna kill you. And you know, that's not fun. I mean, trial and error, I understand you can have it in there, but like when you start throwing out a lot of that at the player, it's not fun anymore. Okay, so we're gonna go into the desert and watch out for tumbleweed and sand sharks and crap like that. Deserty sort of things. They have these groundhogs, which I always get scared when I jump on them because they're hit in hurt boxes or whatever. I feel like it gets screwed over a lot of times, so I try to avoid them. I try not to jump on them. Just not even bother, but sometimes they have some like one-ups and secret passages down there. Which is neat, but on the other hand, it's not necessary because the secret passages and the bonus levels, like, who cares? Like, you might get an extra life, it's mostly yarn, and again, you need like 300 or 500 yarn. I noticed I'm at 258, 260 yarn, and I wonder, if I get 300, then it was probably 500. I don't remember how much yarn you need exactly to get an extra life. I just remember for this game, it's too high. Like, it should have been lowered, and it should have been, like, hit... Okay? It should have been a hit point. It would have made the game a lot better if... Just give yourself another hit point. I mean, like, you can literally sneeze on Bubsy, and he will die. Seriously, isn't that what the Woolies do on the first level? They, like, sneeze at you? Because... they're clearly sneezing at you in the Super Nintendo version, but the sound effect is so piss poor in the Genesis, I can't even understand what the hell they're doing. It sounds wrong. And that's not how physics work with those rocks. Oh gosh. I did a Let's Play of this before on my old channel, but, you know, I want to redo this. Just so I could have it up in better quality, and hey, it's a Japanese version. I mean, it's different. At least you could kind of hear Bubsy. And just, you know, I told you a few interesting things. I mean, what is there to say about this game? It's Bubsy. When I upload stuff, I try to upload stuff that is unique, because that's the problem with Let's Plays, is that it's just so oversaturated now. You got everyone and their mom doing Let's Plays and game reviews and stuff. I'm trying to make things at least a little bit like, there's a reason that I'm doing this. It's not like I'm being like, yo, hey, guess what, guys? Did you know that Sonic was made for Sega's mascot? I'm gonna just read Wikipedia and barf it up on a microphone. No, I'm not trying to do that. Yeah, YouTube is a whole different beast than it was in 2006, I'll tell you that. Like, yeah, if you're wondering where the 2006 comes from, that's when I started my YouTube account. Yeah, my account is old. Vintage status. And yeah, I kind of got screwed there. Okay, so one cute thing this game does is based on the levels, they kind of change the Woolies. If you look at the Woolies, they have the hats. Conductor hats, and I think that's really cute. They change up every level, and that's cool. I appreciate little things like that. So, one thing that's really useful to do that I don't see a lot of people doing when they play this game, and I think it's very important that you do, especially in the later levels, is if you use the shoulder buttons or the C button, if you're playing the Sega Genesis version, it allows you to kind of shift the camera to the left or right depending on what button you're holding down, and that kind of gives you a look ahead to see if there's any enemies or hazards, and that's really important. That can help you out. And sometimes you can trigger projectiles, to come out so you don't just get like destroyed off screen. It's very useful. But again, most people, when they play this game, they're not going to know about that feature. It does mention it if you let the game play at the start into a track mode. And that's funny. Okay, I like how they put the groundhog jumping out of the train. That's funny. I'm looking to see if there's anything worth getting. There's not. So, we're going to get the Switch. And the reason why I'm looking is they put a horny toad. At least that's what the manual said. I'll point it out if I see it, but in one of the levels, they're going to put a horny toad right there where I was looking, and I don't want to step on it because it'll kill me. And those cacti, excuse me. Those cacti, they're not part of the background. No. If you touch them, they will kill you. Freaking sand shark. Some of these enemies are funny. And there's tumbleweed, and wow, I can't believe that didn't kill me. I got lucky there. Sometimes the game has mercy on you, sometimes. And as you see, I'm going to start really, because I don't know where the hell I'm supposed to go. I'm like, okay, I'm going to jump here, I'm going to pray I don't land on something sharp. Like that. I could have landed on that easily, but I got lucky. So I'm going to just glide and get screwed. Now at least I know where not to jump. And unfortunately, the further you get into this game, you're going to encounter stuff more and more like that. In the next world, as you see, I'm doing, pretty good. I have 18 lives. I go into the next world with a lot of lives, and I die so many times. I'm proud to say I haven't played this game too many times, so I'm not familiar with the, vomit level design that, I feel like I'm playing Bubsy 2 in the next world, and I die so many times. To the point, I don't know if I game over or not, but I'm actually going to be doing some cutting, because, you don't want to see that. I don't want my viewers, and I'm like, I can't make that jump, screw it, I'm going to jump to the right. But yeah, so I'm going to be making a cut. I will show one really stupid thing that happened to me, but otherwise I'm going to cut because, just me dying over and over, that's just gonna kill the pacing of this Let's Play, and I know how people are these days. In fact, probably most of the people who are watching this probably stopped already. Seriously, I look at how long people watch things. People don't freaking watch the entire videos. I could probably blurt out my social security and no one would listen. And no, I'm not going to do that, because I know there will be one person that is listening. I could do that. But you get my point, People don't watch the whole video anyway, so yeah. I'm gonna just cut a bunch of deaths, because it was a lot. It was a lot. I'm sorry that I can't memorize level vomit, but yeah. Anyways, I don't even know where the hell I am now. I don't know how much longer, because is this really necessary? Why is the level still going? Now we're doing more train, more desert? It's too long. Did you need to pad the game out this bad? Just make another world. I feel like I'm playing the same thing again. And this is where the game is just slowly starting to get a little bad. The last level's okay. I don't mind it. And the second to last level, I like that. It starts to get a little decent again. But it can be frustrating because if you fall, then you pretty much have to restart the level. I'm trying to find the horny toad that I was going to point out. I saw one earlier. There should be another one. That's interesting that giraffes wear candy cane sneakers. Yeah, I say candy cane a lot. I love candy canes, but... Okay, moving on. I'm just paranoid because I know I'm at the end, or I'm close to the end of the level and I don't want to die. Oh my gosh, I almost got jumped on. Okay, that right there, that is a horny toad. For the longest time, I didn't know what the hell it was. Like, I can kind of see it. Horny toad is a lizard, lives in the desert. But the instruction manual actually tells you, and the instruction manual is interesting because it is written from Bubsy's perspective. So it does a lot of, you know, breaking the third wall kind of thing like this game does. But, you know, and that was neat too. Most instruction manuals back in the day were just generic and, you know, just told you how to play the game. The Bubsy one had a comic and it was in full color, which was cool if you grew up with Sega Genesis. It had some, I don't want to say it, it had some personality. Oh god, I sound like a shill now. No, I'm just kidding. Ugh, I like those hats. Hats are cute that the Woolies have. Okay, that was funny. Sometimes the deaths do make me laugh. Like that was funny. Like there's no way I could react to that without knowing prior. I just totally ran into the tumbleweed. So that thing that I just got was a bunch of dynamite. When I played this game on an old CRT, I thought that was a feather. Like it was a feather that, you know, shoots you up and lets you like kind of fly, but no, it's actually dynamite. But I don't know, like playing these retro games on nice, you know, upscalers or really, really nice monitors now, just being able to actually see some of the stuff, it's like, oh, so that's what it means, you know? And this part you have to slow down. You gotta slow down, and I really like to use the L and R buttons here to help me see what's ahead. I think they're supposed to be sneezing at you, which I don't know. I don't know what they were going for. Like, is the joke Bubsy is so weak that you could sneeze on him and he dies? Like, is that what they were getting at? Because, like, I don't know. I guess that's supposed to be funny, but all that it does is it makes your character, your creation, seem like a little bitch, you know? So, navigating through these physics-defying boulders. And yeah, when Bubsy is on edge, he'll, in the English version, he'll say something like "yow" or whatever. And he does talk in the Japanese version, which is cool. His voice is really soft though. Half the time I can't even hear what he's saying because he's so soft. And that one will fall. That one will fall. An interesting thing. Wait, is this the boss? Yes, it is. This is a boss, and it is a woolly saucer. And this boss likes to fly around like a jerk and just drop a bunch of woolies. And I don't remember. Okay, so the boss, you're gonna find another boss that does something very similar. The boss ends as soon as you kill all the enemies on screen. Just because you killed the boss doesn't mean it's actually dead. You have to make sure the enemies are dead. So yes, if you happen to die to an enemy, even though you killed the boss, then tough luck. You have to redo it. So now we are moving on to this world is garbage. It is the garbage world. And I think I'm gonna just cut. Like this is the world where just the game really is bad. It's just like I said, there's just so much crap going on. There's projectiles that are gonna hit you off screen. There's too many blind jumps. It's confusing. It all looks the same. Levels are long. So I started with 19 lives. Okay, I'm gonna cut. I'll see you guys in just a second. I'm back. I just cut a lot of stuff out. But I did want to leave this part in because something really hilarious happened with the hit detection. And yeah. I jumped on the starfish and I clipped right through him and I died. What the hell was that? But anyways, yeah, so take a look at my lives. I went into this world with, what, 18 lives? And I'm down to 3 now. I died 15 times. And I'm going to cut it. I am doing you, the viewer, a favor. Because by cutting it, I am requiring you to watch less Bubsy. So I think I'm actually doing the correct thing in cutting all this stuff. Because, like, I mean, the L and R buttons, they don't help you. The looking ahead feature, there are true blind jumps, and the level design in this world is just so piss poor. Like, I can't stop dying, and I don't want it in this Let's Play. I mean, it's bad enough that it's a Bubsy Let's Play, but dying 15 times, I'm gonna just do you guys a favor, and I'm just gonna cut it. And yeah, I got really lucky on this boss. This boss can be a bitch sometimes, but I got lucky. And I beat him on my first try, actually, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so we are moving on to the next world. And I think it's better, but on the other hand, I'm not sure. Because it's kind of like when you come from a level, or world rather, that is just complete garbage, pretty much, like, it's very unlikely the next level can possibly be any worse than that. So I'm not sure if this level is decent, or it's just the fact that it's not the previous world anymore. I think it's a little bit more fair. It doesn't quite have the Bubsy 2 syndrome as hard as the previous one, but the thing with this level that you have to be careful about is if you fall, you're gonna have to essentially restart the level. That's kind of the gimmick with these levels. Although on the 3rd act of this world, I think you'll just automatically die when you start falling. But I think in this one, if you fall, then you just have to reset the level, or you have to redo the level rather. They have some interesting set pieces. They have this egg that you can jump on. It's like a nest or something. I think that's neat. And those weird frogs, they climb up and they can actually walk on the ground. And their animation's a little janky, but I remember in the Sega Genesis version, the background is screwed up. Like, there's something wrong with the parallax. It looks normal on this version, but not the Sega Genesis version. Like I said before, I think the Sega Genesis version was rushed, or they just, I don't know, they had issues with it. The music just sounded like god-awful. Oh, that's funny. There's a lot of bees in this level. They also have some projectiles that will try and get you off screen. But I'm okay. And, oh, am I okay? Okay, so I landed. I'm gonna have to go backwards. Sometimes if you get a checkpoint, you can just deliberately kill yourself, and that would be faster because you would just spawn right off the bat without having to backtrack. I'm gonna go in here, and it's a bonus stage. Whenever I go into bonus stages, I just want to get out as soon as possible. Not very useful unless I get that 1-up, which I clearly missed, so yeah, I just get out of here. Bubsy 2 was god-awful when it comes to bonus stages, because they were all over the place. Well, they were more like mini-games, and, like, I'm probably gonna do a Bubsy 2 Let's Play. I don't want to, but I might as well. Maybe I'll drag my boyfriend in to make him suffer with me. Or did I say that? Did I say suffer with me? Oh no, I meant have fun. Yes, so he can have fun with me. Yeah, I would not want him to suffer by any means. And yeah, I should have just, like, killed myself because there's a checkpoint. Yeah, Bubsy 2, ironically, has a 2-player mode. I don't know if anyone knew about that, because who else would want to play Bubsy with you? I mean, that's a really mean thing to do to your little kid brother or sister. Be like, hey Jimmy, you want to play a great game? Okay, this game sucks! You know, you don't want to do that. But yeah, so Bubsy 2 has a 2-player game, and you can either, like, be helpful to Bubsy, or you can troll him by, like, dumping bananas at him or something, but, I mean, what's the point? I don't know, it's stupid. What's the point, indeed? What's the point of playing it to begin with? These levels are pretty long, and I'm looking around constantly because it's not always very obvious where to go, but like I said, at least it's a little bit more fair, because the previous roll, like, I don't know, maybe I was doing something wrong, but it really seemed like it was one of those levels that they put in to be like, no, we don't want kids beating this on a rental. And did I just die at the same beat? Oh my god. Oh yeah, the spider web. That is one hell of a spider web that you can jump on it and bounce out of it. That's pretty funny. So the little beehive thing, I actually thought those were like eyes staring at you, but it turns out they're like little doors. And like that right there. I thought there were eyes that were peeking out for whatever reason, like beehive. And ooh, that was a weird visual glitch. I don't know if anyone noticed it, but there was some kind of like flash on the screen. I don't know what that was caused by, but yeah, when playing on CRT, I thought they were eyes, but if you look at the little beehive, it's kind of like a joke, like they're apartments, I guess. Like you have the pots on this, in the window, whatever. Bee apartments. And I'm just taking a leap of faith and I make the jump, but then I get jumped on, so... and I'm already down on my last life. But I do have a continue, so if I die, I don't care. Just my objective right now is to make it to the last stage before I die. And I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm pretty close to the end of the level. But yeah, looking at this definitely looks a lot better than the Genesis version. The colors are also a lot... I don't know, like... I understand that the Genesis doesn't have as many colors as the Super Nintendo, but they really could have done a better job on the Genesis version. It really looks washed out to me. And I've played a lot of games both on the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo, like Lion King, for example. Those games look pretty much very similar. It's not very drastic. I mean, you're gonna have more dithering on the Sega Genesis, but I mean, the Sega Genesis Bubsy just looks like crap. So I think I would rather play Super Nintendo version over it. But the correct answer is I would rather play neither, right? I'm just praying to God I'm not going to jump on something off screen that's going to kill me. And right up there, that's the end of the level. Alright. Now, if I'm smart, I'm going to go ahead and kill myself as soon as possible. As soon as I start the next level. Because that way I can just get my 9 lives and I won't like game over mid-level. So let me see what I do. Yep, now I do the correct thing. I game over. It's gonna ask me if I want to continue. I'm gonna say yeah. Why not? We're almost done with this. I got this level, the next level, and then the final level. The final level is just one long level. You know what I don't understand? Why is it that the spider doesn't want to attack the woolies? Just want to attack the bobcat? Well, what's the deal with that? I've always found that funny in video games that you'll see like all these enemies, like animal enemies that clearly would want to attack other things, but they're just clearly after the player. I always think that kind of video game logic is funny. Lots and lots of jumping. I remember this level was pretty tough for me as a kid. And there we go. Use the woolly to get up there. These enemies are so annoying. Just their movements very inconvenient for Bubsy. And wow, that was very close. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited for Halloween because I love Halloween, but then on the other hand, Bubsy's new game's coming out, so maybe I shouldn't be excited. Maybe I should dread Halloween. I don't think the song in this level is that bad. I mean, it's not a song that I'm gonna like go on YouTube, favorite, and listen to it over and over, but I think for the game standards, it's okay. It's kind of cute. It's kind of a cute song. Yeah, like, I know I can take a hit, but I'm more concerned about falling off. The yarn balls kind of help you, because at least if you see a yarn ball, you know that there's some kind of platform. So they're kind of useful. They're actually useful in this level, I guess, in this world. And I think I could just jump down there, but I'm just trying to be really careful. Like I said, I don't have these levels memorized. I'm more familiar with like the first couple, maybe the first 3 worlds, but I'm in territory that I don't remember. And I'm just trying to skip. And how did I miss that? Oh my goodness. And I missed that airship again. Ugh. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, this commentary, I don't like to be the type that is telling you what's happening on screen. It's like, well, yeah, you're watching, but I mean, what is there to say? Like, that's another reason why I had to cut, because I can't do commentary on that. I really can't. And that's why Bubsy 2 is going to be hilarious, because Bubsy 2 more or less is what that world is. It's just junk everywhere. And hey, I fell finally. I fell. Even though you guys saw that, I'm just going to remind you that I fell. My boyfriend asked me, "Are you gonna Let's Play Bubsy 3D?" And I'm like, no. No, I'm not. I might do the Atari Jaguar one though. I might Let's Play that because, I mean, that's kind of an underplayed game. And, oh my god. It's like, if you don't fall, you're gonna just run into some random insect in this level. Either way. Ugh. But no, the Bubsy 2 Let's Play might actually be interesting because it's gonna be 2-player. Just to make it interesting, I'm going to make it so that it's 2-player. I'm obviously going to do a co-op because why would I want to make it any harder for someone to beat the game? The question is, am I going to play Bubsy 2 or I'm going to make my boyfriend play Bubsy 2? I don't know. I think I might make him and then I'll be player 2. I wonder if the new Bubsy is going to be 2 players. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I can at least do some commentary right now. I've been really busy with a lot of things, but I already have many games that have been recorded already. I just need to find time to do commentary. But for the people that have been patient with me, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I mean, you could always check my Twitter, and you can see that, like, I post sometimes. I've even been busy, and I haven't been as active on Twitter as I normally have, but hopefully I'll get some more free time. I definitely expect to. Just sometimes, you know, hospital needs more staffing, and then, you know, I'll volunteer to pick up extra shifts. And those little spider webs are interesting, like that set piece. You don't see that in any other level, which I find to be interesting. And, okay, so... I'm trying to think of other Let's Plays. I want to do a Let's Play of Echo the Dolphin, but I want to do the CD version, because I think that's a underplayed one. On my old account, I did do a Let's Play of Echo the Dolphin, but again, I wasn't using good, like, recording quality, and I don't mind redoing it. I like Echo the Dolphin. So if you guys don't know, Sega apparently opened up a shop. Like, yes, there is a online official Sega shop, and it's pretty interesting. They have some Streets of Rage, Shinobi, of course they have Sonic stuff, but I think one of the most interesting things that I saw was they have a blanket that has all these sprites from different Sega games. They have like Alter Beast, Golden Axe, Echo the Dolphin, Streets of Rage. And it's really neat. It's a collage. And it's like, I think it's $54, $55, but it's very unique. And I was looking at it, they have the Vortex holding Echo the Dolphin. And I think that's hilarious. Like, I laughed out loud when I saw that. It's like, that's one dead Echo. If you guys don't know what the Vortex is, that's Echo the Dolphin's antagonist in the series. And if you pretty much touch one, that's almost instant death. Like, they can kill you when you're full on health. So the fact that they had like a Vortex like grabbing Echo, I thought that was really funny. Whoever did that or designed it. And this actually is a little interesting. It's almost like a maze, because at a first glance it's kind of hard to tell what you can go through and what you can't. And it's like, hey, congratulations, you made part of the level seem different. Give yourself a pat on the back, kid who was designing these levels. It says go backwards. It's like, no, you're not gonna fool me. I know how these 2D games work. You go from left to right. Don't tell me to go left. I ain't doing that. I'm gonna just see what's around. I'm gonna keep going right. After I look and be more careful. Okay, I'm gonna just jump to the right and hope for the best. Okay, I think I'm actually being too cautious now. Like, I should just run and do a huge leap of faith. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do here. I should have got more momentum than that. Oh my gosh, I got lucky. I got so lucky there. And there's a checkpoint. Yay. Yeah, you have to be really patient, because a lot of times if you just keep going, the game's just gonna drop a Woolie on your head. And yeah, I really am trying to find where I'm supposed to go. The problem is sometimes you have to let the game like load something into memory before it can become clear where you're supposed to go. And yeah, there's a little nest thing that I was talking about. I like how you could jump on that. And, you know, it's sad because this game has some neat things in it, but just together as a whole, it's still a little bit of a mess. It's not like a total mess, but it is a little messy. Total mess is Bubsy 2, without a doubt. So my boyfriend and I, we've been playing like Halloween themed games, and I'm wondering maybe I should run by Bubsy 2. And he'll be like, that's not a Halloween game, what the hell are you talking about? I'll be like, yeah, it is. It's super scary. It's scary as hell. Of course it's Halloween. And this part is dumb, and this particular platform likes to spaz out to make jumping on it even more difficult. I think the boss is up ahead. The boss that I'm about to fight, in my opinion, is much harder than the final boss. It's pretty much, you know, one of those things that, you know, moves back and forth really sporadically, and it just dumps all these enemies, and I really don't have a strategy for it. I literally have to just get lucky, I feel like. And just getting to him, like, this is obnoxious. Like, good lord. And, you know, like, the target demographic for this game, it was children. Again, I understand you don't want kids to beat it in a rental, but you still need to make sure your game is at least kind of enjoyable to play. I mean, most of the time, this game is very frustrating. Finally, though, I get up on that damn platform. I think I'm getting close to the boss. I think I'm gonna just jump. I'm trying to get some momentum, but yeah, it's not really working. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's like the legit way to do it, but yeah, this boss sucks. Just dumping yarn everywhere. And it's really easy to just collide with those bees, but I got lucky. I usually don't beat this boss on the first try. I've gamed over at this boss before. Literally, my strategy is pray. Pray you're gonna get lucky. I'm so scared right now. I'm like, damn it. And you know what? You'd be scared too. Like earlier when I showed that I jumped on that starfish, like I was perfectly centered, and the game's like, no, you died. Like from that point on, I don't trust this game anymore. I feel like I can't even jump on an enemy safely without the game's hit detection bugging out. In the English version, Bubsy will say, "Oh, are you still playing this thing?" It's like, wow, the game's self-aware. It's shocked that someone actually is still playing this game and reached the last level. That's kind of funny. Kind of reminds me of the the official Sonic the Hedgehog social media, like the Facebook and the Twitter page. But it's getting to the point, like, they're self-aware and they kind of like poke fun at their like declining quality. It was kind of funny the first couple times, but now it's getting to the point where it's like, can you just tone down the, like, it's not cool to constantly hate on yourself or your mascot or your IP. You know, you need to understand that y'all were once highly respected. I remember they said something like, when it was the anniversary of the Sega CD, I think maybe it was on Instagram, they said something like, shoutouts to the 5 people who bought it or something. Come on. Now, if you're gonna do that for the 32X, I'll give you a buy, but like, the Sega CD wasn't that bad, come on. And wow, I'm looking at the background. It looks so much better than the Genesis. The Genesis version is so washed out. I don't even think the stars like glow. They actually are glowing in this game on the Super Nintendo version. If they are glowing in the Genesis version, I didn't notice because the background looks so washed out. So this level, it's not that bad, but it's kind of annoying. They really put certain enemies in really inconvenient places, so sometimes it might take you a couple lives just to get through an area. Like this, you definitely want to kill enemies when you can. And wow, I almost died right there. Because at least when you come back, they're not going to respawn. And the kind of the gimmick to this level is you have to find switches. And this is a gimmick that they really just like go crazy with on the Bubsy Jaguar version. The Bubsy Jaguar version is kind of like this game, Bubsy 1, plus they added like all these dumb switches and mazes and stuff, and I might do a Let's Play of it. I mean, if I'm in the mood to suffer or torment myself, maybe I will do it for you guys. We'll see. The final boss, it doesn't make any sense. Like, basically I just jump on it and try to like get it into hit stun. Just try to lock it in a hit stun and then I win really easily. Otherwise I don't really have a strategy for it. Like, these bosses are dumb. In fact, these bosses kind of remind me of another kind of dumb animal mascot game for the Sega Genesis. It was called Awesome Possum. And if anyone has played that game before, I'm sorry. The first thing I'm going to do is just apologize. I'm sorry you played that game. I would say Awesome Possum is worse than Bubsy. And I see a lot of similarities. They both have like a colored comic. They both talk, try to have personality and all that stuff. But anyways, what I was getting at is the bosses in Awesome Possum are kind of like Bubsy. They are very erratic. They just move around and it's just ridiculous. And it doesn't, like, it's like you can't develop a true strategy for it, other than just don't die. And I'm almost done with this level. Once you know where to go, what switch to hit, and what to do, this actually is a very lenient level. It's not that hard. Not that hard, and hey, they even have some extra lives if you're hurting. And I'm going slow because they like to kind of try and snipe you with enemies coming out at the last second when you go through the halls. And this part usually takes me a couple tries just to get through, because, I mean, this is pretty obnoxious. Let me see if I get through it without dying the first time. I'm actually trying to get the game to unload the top one, which I did, and that worked out. By walking backwards, I made the game unload one of the projectiles. And here, you kind of have to go... like, I knew it was coming, but I wasn't able to stop in time. And I ran into this stupid saucer. Oh my gosh. Alright, so this part, you want to go slow, and then using the shoulder buttons so the game will, you know, load the enemy so you can react to it. That's very useful. I'm moving with the R button held down. If you're playing a Genesis version, you would have to stop and press C because you can't actually move and manipulate the camera at the same time. And here we go. Here is the Woolly Queen, Polly and Esther. Get it? Polly and Esther, polyester. Oh god. Okay, final boss, and I win. She's locked into the hit stun, and that's it. I am the greatest. Ugh. I was gonna thank you guys for watching this, but I'm going to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you clicked on this. I'm sorry you watched this. But hey, maybe you enjoyed it. Yeah, and just to insult everything, the ending is one of those, oh, it wasn't real, it was just a movie. You know, it's kind of like Mario 2. It wasn't real, it was just a dream, but no. And you know what? I hope Bubsy crashes into a tree. But he doesn't, because he comes back in Bubsy 2. And then here are the credits. But yeah, I got some more Let's Plays in store. I just need to do some commentary. Thank you for watching, seriously. Thank you.